you're probably familiar with at least some of the details on this story. An 18-year-old woman who allegedly stole a Porsche and then ran over its owner in a caught-on-video incident in Mississauga earlier this month is facing auto theft charges. She's facing charges in several jurisdictions. She got bail, I think, in Peel, and then as she turned around to leave, some Toronto cops said, "You're under arrest now for some stuff in Toronto," and said, but I think she got bail from that too. So I don't know how all of this is going to turn out. But the question that someone brought up, and I hadn't really thought about this, can you make an insurance claim if you are injured in a carjacking? The founder of Kotak Personal Injury Law, Nainesh Kotak, joins me now. The first question that came up when I said, I never thought of this, but then I thought, okay, but in Ontario, if you're injured, you just take your OHIP card and you get looked after anyway. Doesn't that cover it?
No, not at all. We do have a two-part system, a no-fault system called the accident benefit system, which was watered down quite considerably under the Wayne government, provides basic benefits, income replacement benefits up to $400 a week, medical rehabilitation, most of it capped out at $3,500. You also have the right to sue a party at fault, and you'll get money for pain and suffering if your injuries are permanent and serious. So, Jerry, this is an interesting case because this young woman was obviously operating the vehicle without consent. She stole his Porsche and ran him over. But he still will be able to claim under his own insurance under both schemes. First, he could claim under the accident benefit schedule to get his physio and treatment as long as his insurance company pays. That doesn't cut him off. And the next thing is his own insurer. We all have what's called an OPCF 44 in our auto insurance policies in Ontario. And it will essentially cover us if the person who was at fault wasn't insured or was underinsured. So in this case, he would also sue his own insurance company to take her place, and they would sort of, defend her. Not really much of a defense here, but assess his damages, so to speak. So, there is, in this particular case, an opportunity for him to get some compensation. Now, there again, it's a case by case. For example, if you're carjacking, you're outside of your car, and later on there's an altercation, you're injured. Well, that you'll have to look at a case by case on that. Was that in the ordinary course of the use of the automobile or not? And some people may be shut out of claiming when it comes to those types of claims.
All right, so I'm right when I say if she had broken his leg and he showed up at the hospital with his OHIP card, they will fix that. But it's the ongoing issues that you would need insurance for because your OHIP card doesn't get you employment insurance, that kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Your OHIP, you're going to go to the hospital. They'll fix your bones, but OHIP doesn't provide for much physiotherapy anymore, if at all, right? So your rehabilitation after your surgery, and that is where the auto insurance will kick in allegedly, and pay the treatment that is necessary to get the person back to their whole self again. Very different, home invasion injuries. There's no compensation from insurance. That you're going through OHIP, and if you have any disability policies and you can't work, you would make an application through there because we no longer have a criminal injuries compensation board that used to assist people who were injured in assaults, etc. Does
my homeowner's insurance look after that?
No, your homeowner's insurance will cover your the damage to your home that was caused, and any potential lawsuits against you if you happen to be sued out of the altercation, and it's found that you were negligent as opposed to a deliberate act. They may cover your the potential liability on you. But certainly they wouldn't be covering your injuries. That would be going through a private or your company a disability policy to obtain compensation for that.
I'm talking to the founder of Kotak Personal Injury Law, Nainesh Kotak. Can you claim through insurance if you're injured in a carjacking? And this comes out of that story of the young lady who was caught on a Ring camera not only stealing a car, but running over the owner, that sort of thing. I'll tell you this, Nainesh, it just coincidentally, I paid for my car insurance yesterday, and the amount of money I gave them, if I'm hurt, they need to come to my house and wave palm fronds over me till I'm comfortable because, oh my God, it's expensive.
It is. The reality is they continue to make record profits, and they continue to cut our compensation system. We have a deductible to pain and suffering. So let's say, for example, you were injured, you first of all prove that your injuries are serious and permanent. They're going to last you forever, and they affect your ability to live in a significant way. There's I think it's around $44,000 now deductible to that. So let's say a jury says, okay, you had a broken leg, I'm going to award you $30,000, but you get zero. So we have constant reduction in what we can get if you're injured and a constant increase in premiums. What's the net result of that? Increased insurance profits, and it keeps on going and going.
So is it a situation where, I think this is the business you're in, people end up having to sue their insurance company?
Yeah, so what happens under the no-fault scheme, you can't. You apply to what's called a license appeal tribunal, and quite frankly, probably about 80 to 90% of those decisions are in favor of insurance companies, so it's kind of useless to do that. But that will be if you have a dispute with your insurance company over a rehabilitation or something, and then suing the driver at fault. It can't be a minor fender bender. It can't be just a simple whiplash. You've got to have permanent injuries to be compensated for pain and suffering. And then even on income loss, you only get 70% of your income loss up to the date of trial. So don't get in an accident. That's the advice I would give people, because it's not a fun
I never
process
thought of that. That's brilliant advice right there, Nainesh.
You got it.
Yeah, that's like, doctor, it hurts when I do this. Well, don't do that. So Nainesh Kotak is the founder of Kotak Personal Injury Law. Can you claim through insurance if injured in a carjacking? And then you mentioned the house thing, and somebody breaks into my house, assaults me, and leaves, and I have ongoing injury. They broke my jaw. I can't talk on the radio. I'm not getting paid. What do I do?
Okay, look, obviously, you've got the OHIP treatment you mentioned. You could sue them, but, the type of people who are doing this, I doubt they would have any money, and their insurance won't cover them anyway, even if they had something, because it's a deliberate act, right? So, there for your income loss, you would look to any private policies you have, whether you've purchased a disability policy or whether it's through your employer. And if you're off work, you would use that to claim short and long-term disability benefits. Otherwise, you're looking at EI sickness benefits. So, yes, unfortunately, people who are hurt in these type of assaults may not get any compensation.
All right. Well, I always feel like, we pay a lot, we get a little. And that's sort of how I feel when it comes to the whole insurance industry. And I'm the last person that wants to come out and say the government should fix this. But there's a problem in this province, and somebody needs to figure out how to fix it. How about I'm just allowed to buy my insurance in Buffalo? That would solve my problems.
I tell you something about the U.S. policies, Jerry. A lot of times, we see these big awards coming out of the United States, but a lot of people carry maybe, $25,000 policy limit. So you might get a massive judgment and you get $25,000, right? So,
I'm talking about how much I pay in the first place.
Yeah, right. We know this, and we overpay. There's no question. I think, we probably are the highest paying province right now, despite having this no-fault system in play. And there's really a lack of transparency when it comes to auto insurer profits. There have been private studies done by, I think, Dr. Fred Lazar, which shows they continue to make record profits despite the massive reduction in what you get.
All right, Nainesh, good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.